This conference will now be recorded.
Yep, it's information technology service management tool. Service management tool. Yeah. So, so information technology service management tool. If you look into this particular word or sentence or cleanly, so it will give you an idea. We are managing to manage the services related to information technology. We need a tool, right? Okay, to manage services in terms of information technology, we need a tool, and that's going to be ServiceNow. So what is service? What is service? So service is something like in terms of what? Huh? So service is something like you're providing support, providing support, providing support to, that can be our external or internal client. What is external? Like you will get a project, your company will get a project, and you will support, you will make sure you adhere to the standards or the external clients, and you will satisfy the requirements of the external clients. And what is internal? Internal is something you're supporting your own uh, employees, own organization employees. For example, let's suppose you are belong to Deloitte, and Deloitte have, it's a 1 lakh seater capacity office, and across the globe, anybody have any issues related to IT, they'll reach out to IT department, and somebody from IT will respond back. Where do they reach out? They reach out, they reach out in a tool. There is a self-service portal. There is a self-service portal, we call it as, there is a web page. In layman language, I would say self-service, where they will go and say, hey, my password is not working. They will write it and they'll submit it, and that will convert as a ticket in an ITSM tool, and we will pick, somebody from IT will pick that up and he will fix the issue. So that's a background on ITSM. What is ITSM tool is all about. Any questions? No.
Nope.
Yeah, we're good. So now the question here comes here, like, so this training is include of 3 modules. Hmm? What are they? So we will talk about administration. So in this stage we'll covering, like, basics, and then we'll deep dig into the administration, and we'll talk about development. Hmm? And we'll also talk about integrations. So this administration will also cover CMDB, right? So when I say CMDB, you install the mid server and all, yeah, something like that, right? So this course is going to be last for 30 hours. So 30 hours per day. Each day it's going to be 1 hour session. So so 1 hour we will be talking, and you will be given with the recordings. And so that's about the introduction about the course. So the question, what do we have here is, okay, do we need to purchase something to practice? We are learning, that's fine, but it's just the learning is not enough. We need to put, we need to we need to practice. Where do we actually need to practice? Do we need to purchase some? No, you don't have to. ServiceNow provides a free, ServiceNow provides a free software, a free software. It's a free license, the test license we will give it to you. It's a lifetime free instance. ServiceNow provide a lifetime free instance. So this instance, you need to register yourself in developer.service-now.com. When you enter into this developer.service-now.com, it will ask you to register, right? You have a register option here, right? You click on register and it will ask you for the first name, last name, email address, etc, etc, etc. And once you enter all these things, it will, you go and you will get a verification email to your email address, and once you verify it, you can log in here, right? So when you log in here, right? Your instance will look like this. For example, this is my email address and my account. Let me see if you have any instance here. Otherwise, we'll request here. Right, we have here. No problem. All right. So let me. What I can do here is I can probably go to instance, manage under the instance. No, back to dashboard. So you can request an instance here. You can request an instance here. You can click on this manage. Yes, yes, RG. Please go ahead. Uh, RK, can you hear me, Mr. Okay, I think he's on mute. Okay, no problem. So once you requested for this instance, so with it will ask.
Hear me now?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, please tell me. Yeah.
All right. So my question is, what do you mean by an instance to begin with? And when you say that you could go to the ServiceNow or the developer.servicenow.com, are you going there as a developer or are you going there as a client? How exactly are you registering? Is it a client who can register, or you as an administrative or you as an administrator who's registering?
Yeah, that's really an excellent question. Thanks a lot. So the point here is, what are we trying to do here? So are we going to use ServiceNow as an end user? No. Why are we here? We are here to learn the development and administration. So can we practice? Can we do our practice? Can we do our projects in an end user license as a client or something? No, right? So when I'm requesting for the instance, considering it in mind, when we are requesting for an instance, what instance we would like to do that? So we are requesting for an instance as an administrator, right? It's an administrator panel which you can play around, whether you wanted to do development activities, you wanted to integrate with something, or you wanted to do some administrator activities, whichever the one you want. So we are giving you a platform on a free of cost. ServiceNow is giving you a platform on a free of cost where you can play around with, right? So when I say instance is something, a session, right? In a layman language, if we wanted to pronounce it, we call it as session, right? It's a free session or free license. Well, let's call it as a license. Yeah. So let's call it as a license. It's a free license that has been given from ServiceNow. You can just play around with that so that you will have some real-time exposure, like, oh, this is how it looks like in real time, right? So that's what I mean by instance. And yeah, did I answer your question, by the way? RK, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Vijay.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. So I have an instance here, so I don't want it to use this. I can release this instance. Let me see how much time it took for me, right? All right, so it's processing. So if I don't have an instance here, if I don't have a license here, I can request for one license here, right? So when you go to manage and click on instance, it here in the right hand corner, it will ask you to a tab. You will see a tab where it says request for instance. I can show you in a moment that, right? Request for instance. So when you click on the instance, that will show you a recent the past three versions of ServiceNow. So to talk about the versions of ServiceNow. ServiceNow released their versions with a name of cities in alphabetical order: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Right? So what is the first version? The first version is going to be Aspirin. Right? The first version is going to be Aspirin. And second version is going to be Berlin. Calgary. Just for your reference. You can also find the same thing in Google, but I wanted to tell you this. Dublin. Eureka. And Fusey. I'll give a pause here. Why am I giving a pause here? Because from till Fusey, ServiceNow implementation used to be, it's a very pathetic work. There used to be a lot of coding involved into that. There used to be a lot of coding, a lot of programs people need to write on that. So from after Fusey, ServiceNow realized and they started reducing the coding part here. So from a Geneva version, right? So version to version, they are reducing the coding part, right? And Helsinki, Istanbul, and we have Jakarta, Kingston, London, Madrid, and the next version is going to be New York, which is unofficial yet. Okay, so next version is going to be New York. So these are all the versions. So version to version, what they did is they tried reducing coding as much as they can and incorporated the most of the things in a UI level. What do you mean by UI? User interface. User interface. So now the latest version what we have is Madrid. Let me refresh this and see whether what instance I can request for this. Oh, it's still processing. No problem. That's fine. So let's see. I have I can request for instance the next 15 minutes. So we can wait for that. In the meantime, I can show you something here. I can show you something here. Okay. So you request for an instance and you logged in and you will get your credentials and you will have your things ready, right? So what do you do? And how does the service now looks like, right? I'll tell you how exactly it looks like, right? Go to manage and instance, right? This is my instance. What is my instance name? My instance name is going to be dev50286. This is my instance and this is my admin and my username, and I am entering my password. You see that, RK? So I am logging in as what? Admin. So I'm a whole and sole owner for this, right? Okay, right? So in a real time, so how ServiceNow looks like, so it looks like this. And we have a ServiceNow logo here. We did some configuration on this. This is my personal test instance, but I wanted to show you this. So you see this. So this is how our ServiceNow a real-time instance looks like. If you join in a company called Deloitte, and it's going to be a deloitte.service-now.com, kpmg.service-now.com, xyz.service-now.com. Yeah, so the instance will change, the instance name will change. So usually we will have three instances in real time. What are they? A developer instance, test instance, and the production instance, right? So what is this production instance, right? So this is the live, and this is being used by a client. This will be used by a client, right? So whatever the activities that you do, okay, so these activities you check and you plan and you act in a developer instance. You will play around with the developer instance, and once you have your work finalized, then what you will do, you will move your work to the test instance, and in the test instance the testing team will check if everything is fine, and what they do, we will move to a production. We will call test as UAT. Yeah, we'll call test as UAT in real time. In my organization we'll call them as UAT. Yeah, so we'll move to UAT, and from a UAT the things will be moved to the production environment. We'll plan a go live date, and this is where the live needs to be planned, and yeah, the production, that information will be go on live, right? In some organization they will not have test instance. They will do the development, they develop the requirements in the developer instance, and they test in the developer instance, and they directly move the things to production. So don't get surprised if tomorrow if you go into an organization and see, oh, Vijay said there is a UAT but we don't have a UAT. No, some organization they don't use UAT, they directly do the testing in the developer instance. Yeah, so that's about a development. So now, to give you an introduction about ServiceNow. So what I said in ServiceNow, ServiceNow is an IT service management tool where we manage our services, right? Right. So this is how it looks like. So we used to have a ServiceNow logo here, but I changed it on my personal net. I'll tell you how did I change it, right? So if you get a job, let's suppose you got a job on ServiceNow, and what kind of work you will get? This is a question everybody in there have in their mind. What kind of work you will get? If you get a job as an administrator, and they will do the configuration changes and password reset and do some form designings here and there and automate things. That's okay. And if you join as a developer, and you will write some scripting, your programs within the ServiceNow, right? That's you. And if you join as a junior consultant and architect, you will do a requirement gathering into that. Requirement gathering and develop instance. There are three different job responsibilities. I'll answer that question in a moment. Yeah. So the point is, so let's suppose, how does the things works in real time? So that it is important, right? So you always can't depend on proxy to take your interviews, and you don't want to waste your money on that, right? So you really wanted to take interviews on your own. You need to understand how the real-time environment looks like, right? How does it looks like? So we have, in every organization we will always have a portal. Awesome. So what is this portal? Let's suppose there's a SharePoint or something. Example I'm telling you. In the SharePoint, we will have stories. We'll have stories assigned. Each story contain a multiple sprints. Keep in mind, use this terminology. Use this terminology. Multiple sprints. Each sprint is nothing but one sprint is one requirement. What is the requirement? The thing what you need to perform. The thing what you need to perform. So one sprint. Let's suppose I've got a requirement which is nothing but a sprint. My requirement is what? ServiceNow. Client says, hey, I don't like the ServiceNow logo to be here, so can I change it to in? I'm a LinkedIn client. Can I change it to my company logo? Yes, absolutely. You can do that, right? So you will pick up that sprint and you start working on it. How do you make the changes? So this is the configuration changes, the basic configuration changes. How do you do that? I'll tell you. Before we move into that, so we need to understand what is what in ServiceNow. You see, this is the logo. The in, you see, this is the logo. and this is a content of a logo. We can customize it, and this entire thing will be called as a banner. Entire thing will be called as a banner, and this is a logged in information. If you logged in as John, and that will be showed as John. And if you wanted to see as a Smith, a ServiceNow, let's suppose you're an administrator and you gave some permissions to Smith and you wanted to see whether that is applied or not. So can I log in as Smith and see? Yes, you can. So how do you do? You do impersonating things. Yeah, to do impersonating things. Something like Facebook, you log in as different user. You must have gone through that. Yeah, similar, right? I wanted to log in as Mr. Abraham, right? See, now it shows I logged in as Abraham. And what kind of access Abraham have? Something like this, right? So again, go back. Okay, and this is where we perform search operations, right? And this is where we can chat with somebody. We can chat with somebody within the ServiceNow. And this is where our knowledge base articles shows. Knowledge base articles in the sense like uh, in before you go ahead and create tickets, you can refer to the knowledge base articles and you can fix the things on yourself, right? And this particular thing will be a very important thing. We will call this as a left navigation window. Left navigation window. So in the left navigation window, it consists of application menus, and application menu consists of modules, right? So self-service is an application menu. This entire thing will be called as a left navigation window. In the left navigation window, self-service is one application menu, and under that we have multiple modules, right? Similarly, benchmark is an application menu, and these are all modules. Flow Designer is an application menu, and these are all modules, right? Similarly, right? So, and that's what. And this particular thing, whatever you see, this we will call it as a home page. We will call it as home page. You can always do a customization to home page as per your requirement. And if you really don't like this home page anymore, you can change your home page to any of the we have, so we have the choices here, right? You can change it as per your requirement, right? So there is a separate session that will be conducted, and how do you manage the home pages and how the things will be worked on that. That's a different story altogether. So one last thing that you wanted to know here is ServiceNow instance is available in two user interfaces. What are they? UI 16 UI 15. The UI 15, UI 16 is the latest one, right? So the current UI, what we are in UI 16. Can I go back to UI 15? If yes, how do I go back, right? So how do you go back? You see a gear button here, click on it. You see the switch to UI 15 here, there is that button, click on it. And you will ask me, what is the difference between the UI 16 and UI 15? There will not be any difference. It's just a user interface. As I pronounce it as a user interface, it's user interface. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so give me a moment, so I will finish it off. So I just wanted to tell you, like, what is UI 15? It's like you come across the plain text model of email. So whenever your Gmail have a poor internet connection, your Gmail, every email, it will say internet connection is slow. Can I display this email on a plain text model? It's a similar part, right? But there will not be any performance issues if you use UI 16 or UI 15. Don't worry. Yeah. And technically there will not be any difference between the UI 16 and UI 15. All right, so that's about the basic overview of what we are seeing it. Okay, now, yeah, your turn, RK. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely, please.
All right. So my question to you is, I'm a little confused when you said that there are three instances, whereas there's a developer instance, a test instance, and a production instance. And so when this is happening, is it all taking at the same platform or the same portal of what I see right now in front of me? Are they all using, the end users are also going to use the same portal, or is it like the system administrator or if you're a developer or if you're a tester? So are you using the same portal?
Yeah, similar, but you will have three different licenses.
I'm sorry, I would have three different what?
Yeah, you will have three different isolated licenses. Huh? You will have
Oh, I
three
see.
through three different isolated licenses. So you will work in the development and you will pack your bag and you will throw it in a test. You will test
Okay.
your work and you pack your bag and throw it in the production. So that's how it works. Production is one license, which is one instance which is available for the client. Test and developer, which will not be available for the end users.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other question to you is, when you say UI 16 and UI 17, is that any different from the versions that you had mentioned, or is it just the user interface? A user interface would from my understanding, I understand it's only the end user who's going to use it. So is it any different from the versions that you are using while you, I'm just a little confused whether, or is it just another way of saying that like London is a version? So would that have UI 16 or are they two different things?
Okay. Version is different.
Okay.
UI, right? ServiceNow release their versions on a yearly basis. Let's suppose you have
Okay.
iOS 10, 12, 13. Three different versions, right? Why they are releasing their version? Because they are releasing their version to do some patch changes. Similarly with Android. And if you take any other tool, any of the tool, they keep on releasing their version. Why they are releasing their versions? Why do somebody releasing a new version?
They have a better and improved version of whatever they had to offer.
User experience and technically improved, adding some high level capabilities in terms of security or user experience, etc, etc, etc. So that's version. Now you have a clear understanding about versions. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now what is UI? User interface. Interface, like the look and feel. In a layman language, if I wanted to say, it's a look and feel. The look and feel is available in two different formats, which is the UI 16
that makes
and
sense now. Okay.
UI 15. Yeah, so that's available in UI 2 formats. If you wanted to use it in UI 15, you can use it. If you wanted to use it in UI 15 and 16, I don't like UI 16 or UI 15. I wanted to make some changes to UI 16, and I like this particular tool. I mean the theme. I will use this. I can still customize it on my own. See how bad it looks like. So I mean, so I mean to say, like, I can still do the customization on my own, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a look and feel is available at two user interfaces, UI 16 and UI 15. But what is the difference between version? Versions is an entirely different thing, right? Version, we do service now. If I own a product and I do release versions because of a better improvement, and I may be having patches, and I may be having, because if you see, iOS kept on releasing their version because there is a problem with IR, there's a problem with IT, there's a problem with the camera, there's a problem with iOS upgrades, something like that. So they keep on releasing their versions because of improving user experiences and improving security models, etc, etc, etc. But look and feel don't change, right? Look and feel don't change. Yeah, did I answer it?
I want to ask you one question too. And you said they keep changing version to decrease the coding part as well. That's what you said earlier, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions?
No. So earlier I downloaded the service. I mean, I don't have to download. I just kind of register for the the service now, and it asks me a question saying like if I am a developer or which company I work. There are some red asterisk mark on, so I can just fill it out, or I mean, just give company XYZ company, or
random would fine. Any random
it's
answers.
just random. Okay. And then it asks me like, am I a potential customer, independent developer, and what do you want to do? Become a certified developer or something like that.
So I'll tell you why the people are asking these questions. So you will be surprised to know the answer.
Okay.
So what happens is, as the technology is being improved, and the cyber hacking is being also improved, right? So why people are putting this captcha, and you often see a couple of pictures, and which ask you to identify the hills, and which ask you to identify the cars, which identify the pictures of human, right? And similarly, there are a couple of set of questions that will be given to you, and you will be answered. So why? Because just to understand, you're not a robot. You are not running this as programmatically. You are doing as an interface level. Yeah. So that's the reason people ask this. You can give a random answers, no issues, and that doesn't give any value actually. You can give any answers to that.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Rashina Khader, any questions for you?
No, and I'm RK and Rashina Khader are the same person.
Oh, you both the same? How?
Yes, yes. I probably logged in twice.
No problem. No problem. Okay, that's fine. All right. So what's next? What's next? So let's jump into the classes, huh? So the very first session, I don't know whether you have gone through the curriculum or not, huh? So if you're not gone through the curriculum, so we will be starting with a user creations. What do you mean by user? Why do I have a user in ServiceNow? Why do I have a user in ServiceNow? You have a user to ServiceNow to log in. To log in, what do you need? To log into any of the tool, what do you need? You need a identity, which is nothing but ID and the password. To access something, you need permissions, right? So how do we create user accounts within the ServiceNow? How do you provide permissions to the ServiceNow, to the particular end user, right? So that we'll go talk about now, right? And I'm going to take this session for next 1 hour. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
RK?
Yes, I'm good with that.
Yeah. All right, because why am I taking it? Because I have a request from your consultant, so they want me to start from the scratch, and that's the reason I'm spending it. Because yesterday only we started one specific the batch for one individual, so so we can move on. Yeah. So
Sure.
now, yeah, user creation. How does it happen? Basically, in real-time situations, user creation happen using a LDAP integration. Looks like some technical jargon, right? What is LDAP? I'll give you an abbreviation for it. Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. Lightweight Directory Access. I'm still not able to understand what it is. In fact, it confuses me, right? So now, let's forget about it. I'll draw a picture. I hope that you'll be able to understand. And the reason why I'm trying to explain you how exactly the user creation will happen in real time, right? So let's suppose this is a ServiceNow instance, and every organization have a database called Active Directory. Most of the organization Active Directory. Are you going to email that report? If you want, I can do that. No issues. I'll do that. Don't worry. Yeah. All right. So this is AD, Active Directory, and this is what? ServiceNow. This is ServiceNow. What is Active Directory is? Active Directory is a repository which consists of user information belongs to that organization. I am belong to XYZ organization. My organization is XYZ. There are 500 people working in my organization. All the 500 people user accounts will be created in Active Directory. The one person joined in Active Directory, one person joined in my company, I will create a user account for them in Active Directory. One person leaving the company, and I will disable that particular employee ID from Active Directory. So that means I have a up-to-date data in Active Directory about my employees, right? So what we will do is, using some connectors, I will integrate ServiceNow with Active Directory. So every time I create or disable users in Active Directory, and that will be automatically created here in ServiceNow. I'll tell you how does it works in a last session of the 30 sessions, right? The integration will be covered after development there, right? I'm just giving you a random idea. So as and when a person created and deleted, and that will be replicating the same thing in ServiceNow, right? So that's how it works in ServiceNow. But here it's also important for us to know how exactly a user creation happen manually within ServiceNow, right? So keep in mind, every user, no matter whatever it is. So if you're creating something in ServiceNow, that particular information will save in tables, no matter what it is. Every information will have their own respective table, right? You create an incident have a respective table. You create a problem have a respective table. You create a change have a respective table, right? I'll tell you what is incident, what is problem, what is change. I'll take a separate session on this, don't worry. Yeah. So each and every information, you create a user, and user will have a separate table, right? And the table name of a user is sys_user. Sys_user is the table where the user information lies in. Write it bold Italian style. Very important. Sys_user is a table where the user information will stay. Alright? No. But where exactly the sys_user table lies? The sys_user table lies in a database called MySQL. The SQL, MySQL, right? MySQL. In the MySQL database, we have multiple tables. In the tables, the information will be saved. The information will be saved, right? So now, I wanted to create a user manually. How do I create it? So I will go to sys_user table, right? I'll tell you how do we go that. Yeah, sys_user. Sys_user is a table name where all the user information stores. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now, how do I create users manually? How do I create users manually? I must need to go to sys_user and I need to create there, right? So now, how do I go that, right? That there are two ways of going it. Go to left navigation and type users. Very straightforward. You see users here, right click, open. Right click, open. Yeah, and this is what it is. Hey Vinod, hi. Good morning. Vinod, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can hear.
Vinod, like no, we are just having a refresher session on the user information. Yeah, just for your
Okay.
information. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the user information stays in sys_user. And how can I go with the sys_user table? Right? Type users and right click and open this. And this is the sys_user table. And these are all the existing users. These are all existing users. And we have 581 users that automatically ServiceNow gives to play around with that. Right? And this is one way that we go with the sys_user, right? Table. And there's another way that I know the table name, right? I know the table name. Then I will directly type sys_user dot list. It will open another tab. Okay. And I don't want this to be open in other tab. I want this to be open in the same tab. sys_user dot list. Lowercase list. Opened in the same tab. Opened in the same time, right? And this is how this is a user information table, right? Anytime, keep in mind, uh, you went to somewhere and you don't know which table that is, but you wanted to understand the table name, right? You don't know, so you all of a sudden went to some here and there, and so you don't know which table you are in. You wanted to know which table I am in. How do I know? How do you know? Is right click on this, configure, click on this table. It says sys_user. Yeah, the table name is what? sys_user, right? Table name is sys_user. So that's how that just giving you a trick. Huh? So let's go ahead and create one user now. Let's go ahead and create one user now. New. So if an ID is coming from AD, it have a predefined format. The format is something first name of the first letter and first name of the first letter. First name of the first letter and entire last name. Username format from Active Directory. Example, Laura Michael is a name, and the user ID would be L Michael. User ID would be L Michael. What is this user ID? User ID is something. It's an identity. It's an identity which helps you to log in to your instance, right? It helps you to log into your instance. Well done. Right? But since you are creating manually, it's on your own choice. You can create anything. That's fine. So, what is the username? Laura Michael. Whether you wanted to have Laura Michael or L Michael, whichever you want. For your first name and this is the last name. Title. What is the employee title? What is he? Is he a CTO or the director, IT technician, junior developer, sales executive, whatever it is? Department. Which department this person is belong to? IT. I'll come to the password in a moment. Email. What is the password? What is the email of this user? Which language? And Outlook integration. So Outlook integration is nothing but if you don't have Outlook open, if you don't have Outlook open with the respective email address, it will automatically populate reminders if you have any meetings within the service now. Hey, you have a meeting, go join. Time zone. What is the time zone? Time zone is something which area you are residing. Date format. DDMM, YY, and business phone, mobile phone. If you have a decent picture, you can add it. Right? Now, hey, this is where the important things comes here. Password. Password, if it is a one-time password, there is not any specification. You can give any random password. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Right? And you see a password needs reset. The name itself is telling you password needs reset. That means if you hand over this like to end user, to Laura, and what she will do is she will enter her user ID as lmike. Okay, let me log in. Okay, so lmike is my user ID. Come on. And what is the password I gave? 1 2 3 4 5 6. And what did I make it true? Password needs reset. It immediately, as soon as I enter this password, immediately it asks me to change the password. The system administrator requires you to change the password. This pop-up has come up because I select the password needs reset. Otherwise, it won't come up, right? That's right. So I need to enter the 1 2 3 4 5 6 and the new password. My own password. My own password. Oh my god. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, go back. Right? So now you see Laura Michael is a joining. She is. It's her profile, right? It's her profile. Now logged out. What is this logged out? After certain unsuccessful bad password attempts, your account will automatically get logged out. Your account will automatically get logged out, right? So we can set up the number. I'll tell you where exactly we're going to set this all. Yeah. Active. After certain period, for example, in generic, I'm telling you, if I'm not using ServiceNow for a period of 90 days, it automatically goes inactive. And 95th or 96th day, Laura comes back and say, hey Vijay, I'm not able to log into ServiceNow. Can you find what is the reason? Okay, I go and see, okay, this is inactive. Let me activate it. Done. Right. Keeping that thing aside. And this is the important thing. Web services access and internal integration access. I think RK must have questions for me on this, right? So what is this web services and internal integration access? Is if I select this and log in as Laura, what is it saying? Only interactive users are allowed to access user interface. Only interactive user. That means, so if I select web services and internal integration is, let's suppose you are integrating ServiceNow with any of the third-party server XYZ. XYZ application. So in the XYZ application need to know to whom it is going to talk about, right? And somewhere in XYZ application, we need to give the URL of ServiceNow. I gave it. And we need to give permissions to XYZ application to get access to ServiceNow, right? So for that, we will give web services access and integration access. If you ever wanted to connect to ServiceNow from a third-party tool, then you will activate it. You will make it true for these two options. Make sense? Okay, it's your turn. Questions? It's not a case sensitive.
No, I don't have a question, but I would really appreciate if you could repeat what you said about the web service access and the interactive integration users. The only thing that I understood is only if you need to connect through a third party to ServiceNow, you would need to choose both of the options. But what exactly does that option do?
That will give you establish a remote connection. You know what I mean? Remote connection. What is remote connection? Connecting to your application remotely from my application. Get your point? Is that clear?
Yes, I got the point.
Yeah, great. Now I'm removing it, and he should be able to log in, right?
Vijay.
Yeah, Vinod.
Yeah, I had a question. Like, you can say like we can use REST calls, so then it will be accessible, right?
Repeat it, please. I missed that.
No, web services means whenever we're using a third-party tool, so using the REST calls or something like that, then it will be accessible, right?
That can be REST, that can be REST, that can be SOAP or LDAP.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Orchestration or whatever you want. That was the remote connection, establishing a remote connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Integration purpose. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. And where is my user? Laura. Yeah. Right. Okay. So that's about the users. Come down. If you come down on the user, you have roles, you have groups, and you have delegates. I'll come from back. What is delegates? Delegate is something. Let's suppose you are going on a vacation. Okay, from date to date. While you're going on vacation, you don't want your things to be pending. So you wanted to delegate your work to somebody in your organization, whether it's your peer personal assistant or somebody who is your backup or something like that. Yeah. So that he will do the actions on your own. Right. So click on new. Laura Michael is going on vacation from 2nd July to 31st July. And she is delegating her work to Janice Tweet, right? Any approval that goes to Laura, that will automatically goes to Janice because we selected approvals. Any assignments, what do I mean by assignment? Because when you're assigning a ticket, that will be assignment group. Any notifications, any meeting invitations, that goes to Laura. It will also go to Janice from this time to this time. So that's a delegation, right? That's a delegation. right? For example, if you don't want the approvals, that's fine. If you don't want the assignments, that's fine, you can remove it. Don't want the CC notification, remove it. Meeting notation, remove it. Something like that. Make sense? So that's about the delegates. Now, let's talk about roles. You remember I was telling you, in ServiceNow, we need an identity to log in. Once you logged in, you need access to perform certain operations. So how your access will be provided? The model is RBAC, which is nothing but role-based access control. Hey, can you give me a moment? I'm getting a phone call. Sorry, yeah. So the role-based access control. What does this mean? Your access will be control based on the roles. Make sense? Right? What does it mean? Your access will be controlled based on roles. And we have ABAC, attribute based access control. Your access will be controlled based on the attribute. I'll tell you, there's nothing to do with ABAC for you guys at the moment. Just giving you an idea. So let's talk about RBAC now. So requirement 1. There is a request that comes. So Vinod, I'll repeat the same thing what we discussed. So don't get bored.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
the requirement is, I have Laura. Please provide access to Laura on incident application menu. Only. Okay. Please provide access to Laura on incident application access only. So okay. So look at this requirement clearly. Please, so the request is to provide access to Laura on incident application. Right? Okay. So let me go back to ServiceNow. Close this. So this is the left navigation, right? So let me see what is incident. Go to left navigation and type incident. Okay. Oh, this is the incident. This is the incident application menu. Very great. So she need access to this application menu. Okay. So how do I provide access? Based on the roles. Because we are using role based access controls. Very good. So we need to know which role that incident application menu have. If I add that particular role to end user Laura, and I'm done. Agreed? Any questions on this? Questions? Clear?
Yeah, clear.
So what I mean to say is, if I will be able to identify which application, the application menu role, and I'll add the same role to Laura, and I'm done, right? So what I will do, I will go to application. There are two ways of going identifying this. So one is application menu, and look for what you are trying to do. Incident. Open it. Okay. So what it have? It have ITIL, right? So forget about incident at the moment. It has ITIL. Oh, 1 second. Let me get the battery. All right. So I have ITL. So that means, as per what we discussed just now, if I add ITIL to Laura Mike, and she should be able to access incident application menu, right? Is that what we discussed? Yes, we did, right? So what I'll do, I'll copy this role. I'll go to user profile, and I'll go to roles, click on edit, ITIL, see, click on save. I added only one role, but you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 roles that has been added to this individual. Maybe because it contains the child roles, the role must contain the child roles. That's the reason it has roles, right? Okay, that's fine. I ignored it, and I'm least bothered about it, right? So what I did, I said, hey Laura, your access has been given, so please log off and log out, log on and log off, and see. So she goes, she log off, and she log in again, and surprised. What she surprised of? She get access to incident, problem, change, configuration, catalogs, reports, live feed, dependency, compliance, configuration by category, and service level management. How does it happen? Because ITIL is a very much powerful role that it can also provide access to multiple application menu. But what is our requirement here? Our requirement here is very much simple. It is Laura need access to incident application menu only. But if I add ITIL to the group, what happened? She get access to most of the applications. And over a period of time, an audit will be conducted, access reviews, and somebody from compliance will catch hold of you. Why did this happen? Because this is a governance break, right? There is we are giving extra access. So now, to avoid this, what do we need to do is, before you provide access to, before you are adding role to any of the individual, it is always the best practice, go to left navigation and type roles. okay, and open and see what is that role you're looking for. ITIL, yeah, this role you're looking for, right? Open it. If you open this role, you can see, oh, if I add this role, it contains 6 child roles. So these 6 child roles will be also added. Okay. If I add this role, it will give permissions to 15 applications. What are the 15 applications? In problem change, catalogs, dependencies, views, etc., etc., etc. And it will give access to 47 modules, right, etc., 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 these things, right? So now you feel, oh, this is a powerful role. I'm not supposed to do that because my requirement is to just to provide access to incident menu. So if I give IDL and I'm giving a lot of access to this individual, okay, so I realized and I started removing this. Right click, click on it, come down and delete. Right, empty. Now, okay, so then what about the requirement? Okay, it contains the incident application menu contains ITL rule. If we add ITL rule, there are a lot of other access is also being given to the individual. So what is the alternative for this? So the alternative is, let's create another role. Let's create another role. What is another role? Let's create another role. I'll create it. Let me do that. I will create a role. I'll create a role called test role. Test role. There is no naming format for creating users. I'll talk to you about elevator privilege in a moment. So description if you want to do that, and let's submit test role. And I will go to incident application menu. You see a pencil icon here? I'll click on it and I'll remove this incident, and instead I will add test role. Okay, and I'll save. Now I'll go to roles, refresh. Okay, and I will test. I'll look for the test on the test role. So now if I look at the test role, does it contain any child roles? No. What application menu it is providing access to? Only incident, right? Simply now I catch this test role and I'll go to Laura Michael profile, and I'll go to Laura Michael profile and I'll click on this edit and I will add her to test role, right, and save. Go back, log out, admin, sorry, lmic unlock underscore 3. Only incident. See, happy. Requirement is fulfilled. Questions?
No.
Good. Very good. You remember I was telling you, like, I'll talk to you about elevated privileges. So while creating a role, I'll talk to you about elevated privilege. So what is this elevated privilege role is? We have an out of the box elevated privilege role. Interview question. The role is security underscore admin. I'll tell you the background of this role. I'm an administrator, right? I logged in to this instance as an administrator. So that means I should have access to everything what I needed. But I cannot write access control list and perform schedule jobs. So to do this, I need to enable this security underscore admin elevated privilege role, and if I enable only, I will be able to write ACLs. For example, ACL is nothing but access control list. There is 2 separate sessions that is being conducted. So I'll talk to you about in detail about ACLs, but I'll just give you a brief. Let's talk about incident. Right click, table. See, one is create, delete, read. You see, this is grayed out for me. This is grayed out for me because I don't have access. I am an administrator, though I don't have access because I need to enable the elevated privilege role. How do I enable, Vinod?
Sorry?
How do I enable elevated privilege role?
Yeah, you select that elevate privilege in the user
Elevated role, yeah. Open
security underscore.
elevated role and click on security underscore admin and click on OK. Right, you see, now see, now I have permissions. This is grayed out now, right? So let me reload it. Now I'll get permissions. Yeah, you see this? And this is how it looks. Right? And keep in mind, it is always session specific. When I say session specific, if I log in, I activated this elevated privilege role, right? And if I log in, if I log out and log in again, the elevated privilege role will not be there. I need to again activate it, right? It's a very high powerful role, right? That's about the elevated privilege role. Any questions?
How does ServiceNow determine that you get these elevated roles?
Yeah, so giving permissions to elevated role, yeah, there is a separate topic. So there is
Okay. Sure.
sorry, how do
But
we assign? Yeah, how do we assign permission to elevated role, and how do we create, and what situation we will create elevated roles, and what permission we will give, and all that. There is a separate session we will talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. And does the user also get the same kind of elevated roles?
No.
End users,
Only
no.
a administrator, only a specific access controls. Not
Gotcha.
everybody.
Sure. Thank you.
In fact, in my organization, I am not entitled to do this or use the security
Okay.
underscore
Okay.
because it's mostly like, it's an architectural role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vijay, do you mind showing that again? How would you give an elevated privilege role to somebody? Can you just show that process again?
Yeah, it is basically a admin. Every administrator will have admin user will have it. Okay, it's just that you need to activate it. Elevate roles. You see, check it, and OK. Click on OK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you be able to maximize your screen, your font? That's a lot better. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. All right. Lot of information, RK. Too much information today. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming, but it's good so far.
Yeah, I just because we're done with 2 sessions, so I just wanted to cover these things in here because we can continue from tomorrow. So there will not be any gap. All good.
Okay.
Any questions for me? So Rajiv, so you were asking me that if you can upload this notepad.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me put it on
The one. Okay. Try Google Drive.
Google Docs. Okay. And your email address?
It's H Sunar SUNAR 1986 Gmail. Yep.
RK?
That's KHADER.
I get that. Yeah.
You got it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Vinod 1516. Yeah, you'll have it. And I will share the recordings. Vinod, I didn't share the recording yesterday. I will share it both today.
Yeah, please.
That's all for me today. Any questions for me?
So one question for you.
Yeah.
So does it help to get ITIL certification to get a job in service as a ServiceNow developer or so?
I would prefer you do a ServiceNow certification.
ServiceNow and also ITIL, because I think ServiceNow runs on the ITIL principle, right, or something like that.
That's right. So do that. Yeah, that's like adding fuel to the fire. Yeah, if you have ServiceNow certification, then that will be a real advantage, because these days, even in India, people are really looking back of the certified people.
Oh, okay.
It's like less interviews. I mean, there's less round of interviews, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Vinod, so we will continue tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Yeah, you fine?
Oh, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for Binod only, not for us. Is 10:30 or?
Yeah, same time when you joined today. Yeah, same time for you.
Oh, okay.
The same time what you joined today.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Vinod, you okay, right? You have any questions, issues?
Yeah. No issue.
Yeah. All right,
8
people.
o'clock.
8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem. Yeah. Thanks, people. Thanks for your time. Take care. See you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Bye bye.